So what would we have, what did we see during COVID? And that was what I was also asked to reflect on. I think one thing that I really want to put out there, we saw really rapid digitalization. And I saw some statistics of Google, for example, who said that they saw the data consumption grow within 3 months after the start of the pandemic, within 3 months for what they were projecting for 2 years in the future. This is a tech firm. What we saw, for example, in Turkey, we just directed, I think, 3 million euro of our funding that was meant for curriculum reform and for slow adaptation of digital blended learning, not online, blended. Suddenly, we shifted 3 million to server equipment for 7 Turkish universities, software and training, and iPads, or cheaper iPads, for refugees. So they would move all their education online within a month. So what they were planning in years, we suddenly meant that our programs had to pivot and completely help university in Mosul, in Iraq, we did the same thing, in Lebanon, the same thing. Get them more bandwidth, get them more equipment, get them training, get the professors training, because that was really a shock for many of the professors in the Middle East, how to go online. So we had these Zoom sessions with 700 professors from the Middle East at the same time, later in small breakout sessions. And how do you teach online? Because it's totally different than classroom teaching. So we see a big acceleration of IT technology. Also in our work with startups, we see that even startup companies, some tech startup companies, growing rapidly. Sometimes we have some women-run companies that added on jobs and grew very rapidly suddenly, because they were offering technical solutions that were applicable. Yeah, so I think that's one section where we could really learn from as a humanitarian sector, where also sometimes I think the humanitarian sector is lagging behind in an adaptation of technologies. Then, yeah, the other thing, that another trend that I want to flag is that we see, and I'm very happy with, is a rapid localization. So everybody has been talking about localization and nobody yet is really doing it. So I have big discussions with the Dutch MFA. For 50 years, the Dutch MFA is saying that they want to shift more funding to bilateral support to government, but also to local actors. We checked last year, we found, now they're disputing it, they're saying it's more to 5%, but we found only 1% of Dutch aid is going directly to local actors. Okay, not bilateral, but local non-state actors, 1%. So what have we been doing actually for the last 50 years in capacity building? We haven't, okay? So I think we should realize that vested interest, industry interest, keeping ourselves in our jobs, maybe not on an individual level, but as an institutional level, we have failed to really localize. Now, what I am so happy with is that because of COVID, all the foreigners were pulled out. Well, not all the humanitarians, but many actually were pulled out. And also in Spark now, we rely far more on local partners. You know, we just cannot be there anymore all the time because of closures. And this has also led to more vocal local governments. So in some of the government meetings in Turkey, in Jordan, I was told literally, either you, foreign NGOs, you either start marching by our music, you know, working through our institutions and with our local organizations and joint ventures, or please, we will deregister you. As explicit as this in Jordan and Turkey. In the recent 5 months, I had 2 meetings. And they were also feeling a bit emboldened. They were saying, look, we are now here. We can take care of our own business. And I think this is an interesting development. It's something that we should seize on. And my second position here for today would be that this is something that we as humanitarians, if we're true humanitarians, we should embrace this, we should support this, and we should accelerate this. And we should use this trend that COVID has accelerated to move to quicker localization. Although I think the side note there is that I am pretty skeptical after working 26 years in aid that this will really happen by itself, because yeah, I think there is strong interest against it, not on a philosophical level, but on a practical operational level by organizations that would have to downsize as well.